Hi guys, I just wanted to do a quick video to walk you through the Unit 5 writing assignment. So I'm going to kind of just talk you through some basic things. I'm always available to answer questions though in office hours or by email or when we have Class Connects. So the Unit 5 writing assignment is very flexible in terms of topic. I've just given you some basic requirements. So I'm going to say you need to have between 500 and 1,000 words. This is basically 1 to 2 single-spaced pages. That gives me the flexibility to look at different options in terms of writing assignments, but make sure that everyone is kind of living up to the same standard. I am asking too that you have some type of visual element. So it can be artwork, it can be clip art, it can be photos. It may be that you do some kind of cool formatting. It could be using Slides Go, something where there is a visual component that is engaging for the reader. So what that means though is you can use any program you prefer. So it might be that your assignment works really well in Word. It might be that your assignment works better as a Prezi or as a PowerPoint or Google Slides presentation, whatever works best for you. The last two things I'm going to be looking for and grading for are, did you go through the writing process, meaning you revised, made sure it was as clear as possible, and also that there are very few mechanical errors in your assignment. And then lastly, did you kind of show an awareness of your subject matter and present it to the audience in a way that is engaging and approachable? Okay, so with that in mind, those are the general requirements. Okay, now with that umbrella, you have options in terms of what you choose to write. And so I took all of your input and I've created sort of some general options. If you have another idea, please feel free to email me and I can tell you if that's okay. So first we have a fictional short story. That can be something made up. It can be any kind of genre. I've included some options here, but if there's another genre you want to experiment with, you are welcome to. Just make sure it does have that beginning, middle, and end. If you do want to play with the plot diagram like we talked about in class today, you are welcome to. An interactive choose your own adventure story. So you may be really good at coding, so you can do it that way. Or if you create it in a PowerPoint, you can hyperlink to different slides in your PowerPoint. And if you need any help understanding how to hyperlink, let me know. A children's book, that is something where you're creating either a story or an informational book for a younger audience. So we're not going to involve interviewing kids and then linking them to a book just because, like I said, that was logistically really complicated. It's just going to be some kind of a children's book, though, that can be presented to a younger audience. A novel chapter. Several of you have said you're working on a novel, and so if you want to include a piece from that original work, please make sure it is something new you're doing for this. But also make sure that as a reader, I can understand enough about the story from where you're popping me into the story, okay? Graphic novel, superhero comic, same kind of idea as a fictional short story. You're just including images. A recipe blog. This is something that might be a little different for you, but a lot of bloggers are out there, and basically before they include this recipe they've written, they give us a little background about how they came to the recipe or why it relates to a certain season. So that's something, and I've included an example here, but you can look for any food blog and see it. Several of you mentioned you wanted to do poetry, and so if that's the case, you are welcome to write multiple poems. Just make sure there's like a common theme that all the poems relate to. Several of you mentioned you really liked doing the research project, and so if you want to research, and I included a lot of the topics that were listed that people suggested, if you want to research something, be it a place in the world or some historical event or some kind of mythology, you're welcome to do that. And then you can either put it in like a slides presentation or in an essay. Instead of having to, like, I don't want to punish people who choose this by having them have to do another lesson in MLA. So for this assignment and this assignment only, you can hyperlink your sources. If you need help knowing how to do this, I can show you. But just you can pull information. Just make sure you're also including your own insights alongside that information. And then lastly, some people just wanted to write about their own life. And so if that's the case, describe or explain some component of your life, perhaps an experience from your past or present, or an obstacle or goal you foresee in your future. Some people said they liked having prompts. So that's a writing prompt generator. I have not gone through every option. I just kind of pulled a few. So you can kind of play with it and see what you get. It's not a requirement. It's just an option. Now, The due date for this is December 8th. That is a Wednesday. And then the end date is that Friday. So it's a pretty close timeline because we are hitting the end of the semester. So just kind of have that on your radar. I am giving you this information before we go on Thanksgiving break, or fall break, I guess I should say. I am not requiring you to do it over fall break, but I know some of you like having those days to kind of work ahead. And so I wanted you to have this information beforehand. This is not something you are required to work on during your break. So please understand that. I do know some of you though like writing. And so if you're writing this, I wanted you to have it. So that is all the information. I will be available in office hours on Wednesday. And you can always email me or reach out to me in some other way to kind of get more clarification. Okay? Have a great one, guys.